Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
We're up. Hi, everyone. We are live from the INKpreneurs Summit in Winston-Salem, and I'm here with Jacqueline Morgan. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I am wonderful. Glad to be here.
We have so much to talk about. This is our live show for the day, and she just got told we were live. No pressure.
No pressure at all.
You have quite a story that is leading up to a really good book that is coming out right before Christmas.
Yes.
Which is a great Christmas gift.
It sure is.
Tell me how you got to even wanting to write a book.
Well, this is actually my second book.
Oh.
My first book, and I've just bought a copy. It's called Act Like a Gold Digger, not gold.
No, goal.
Yes.
Goal. And where can people get that?
This is on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon. It's been out for a few years, and this one is a motivational book. It talks about my journey.
Can I steal that and put it up there while you're talking?
It's a lot of good tidbits in there. I talk about a dark era in my life where I actually tried to commit suicide. I was just going through a dark phase, and I talk about how I was in my car and I was thinking about doing it, and I had a minivan, and I sat on the back of my car on the back part of the minivan with the thing up, and my Bible was all the way in the back seat up underneath staring at me. And so that was God's sign, like, it's not your time. And what happened was I opened it up, and this one passage, can't think of it right now, resonated with me, and I just knew it wasn't my time. I knew it was more for me to do. And so, from that, I just wanted to talk about the journey that we go through, like, when life lifes you and going through depression and all of this stuff. And I just wanted to be motivation. And so I came up with the title because you can't achieve your goals if you're not here.
What was it like to write about something like that? So personal, so, it's beyond personal, right? There's so much that goes into getting to that point where you're thinking about that, and then to put it out there for public consumption,
right?
It's scary.
It is scary, but they always say there's a story inside of you, and you just never know whose life you might change. So I didn't think about it as that I'm the only one who's gone through that. My story is not unique. Some people actually went through with it. I didn't. And so maybe folks who are thinking like I did and feeling, all the things that led up there, not feeling good about myself, letting the world just beat me down, and people get to that point. I knew that I can change one person. So the goal with writing the book is not changing many, but changing that one or few. And so it wasn't, it was kind of hard, like, putting this out there, because people always think, oh, you're so strong, but you never know what people are going into. We all put on this mask, and we put on our big girl drawers, and we go out in the world and we tell people that we're okay when we're not okay. And I was okay with not being okay and letting the world know that at that time I wasn't okay. And I overcame it. So there was somebody else like me, and that story needed to be told.
What were you hearing from people that have read the book?
I had got so much feedback from the book. So much feedback. And so, I wrote that book, had pretty great success with it. And so my new book, Throw Away Your Vision Board, is being birthed, and I'm working on it. And I always see people in January come. It seems to be January when everybody does these big vision board parties, and I've gone to them, and I've created these
all the magazines,
right?
all the glue.
You have all of that. You make this big collage. I want to go here. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I have this vision board that I made, and guess where it is? Collecting dust. And that's what happens with most people.
Yeah.
You know, visions is for dreaming, and action is for achieving. And so I started researching action plans and actually how I want to get here. And right before I came here, I was talking to a few folks about them writing their book. And they was like, oh, I got a few pages and stuff like that. And so, you know, I just kind of gave them advice, which is kind of the coattail of this book. Like, okay, you want to write this book? Put a date on it. Because they asked me, what did I do? And I said, I put a date on it. I held myself accountable. And every day I would block time out. We block time out for what we want to do. If that new iPhone came out, we're going to stand in the line. On Black Friday, we're going to stand. We make time for all of those things that we do. You know, we're going to plan. You know, we're going out with our girlfriends or friends or whatever. You know, maybe you're going to a show. Well, I know I'm going to that show. I got to be here at this time so I could be here on the time. Do your life like that. And so I'm seeing all these people doing all these vision boards, and they're not getting anywhere. They're not accomplishing those things. So the action plan or the action board will put that date. If you want to go to Dubai and you say, I want to go to Dubai on July 25th of 2025, how do you get there? Number one, if you don't have money, you might have to cut back on some things. You might have to get another job. What are those things that's going to get you to Dubai? What are those actions, and work towards it? So if you put a date on there, you know, that makes it more intentional. And you know, when they say you write down your dreams. So that's what the action, it's just to get people to really accomplish their things, because far too often we plan our life and it doesn't happen because we don't have any action behind it.
Well, it sounds like it's kind of like a planner, a organizer, you know, all of those things.
Yeah, it's more intentional because it's daily mantras, because every day, you know, and I learned from being out of depression, every day I talk to myself. So every day we have to be our own cheerleaders. We should not wait for others to cheer us on. We should be our own cheer. So there's mantras every day to motivate you, to help you stick. And it starts with 30 days. And then if you want to add another 60 days, you kind of repeat the process. But you know, 21 days it takes to make a habit. So you're just doing a month where you're planning out your life, planning out that goal for that 2025 trip that you want to go on, or get out of debt, or whatever it is that you want to do. You're just starting on in 30 days and then duplicating the process and taking it from 30, 60, 90, 120 days, and just planning out those big major accomplishments that you want to make in your life.
I know this is part of your getting back to Jackie plan.
Yes.
Which I love when you said that. I was like,
getting back.
Yes. Can you talk about that and how this has helped you?
So I shared earlier that my husband survived 3 strokes, and it changed our life completely. Like, he wasn't able to walk for almost a year. And I had to make the decision to put down a whole lot of stuff. I'm like, I closed the business. A lot of stuff went on hold. And, you know, I had to help him get back to feeling, you know, somewhat like whole again. Because during this process, he kept feeling like I'm a burden. He used to work in a job. We had a cleaning business and always working. And that went away. A lot of that went away. Not being able to work. We had to close the cleaning business. A lot of that went away. And I had to go in caregiver mode. And he constantly thanked me, but I was just being me. Like, the new me was a caregiver. And people say, oh, you're doing such a good job. I'm just doing, I guess, what anybody who, you know, we've been together almost 32 years that would do. And so I just did it. But in the process of doing that, a lot of me got pushed aside. And so, you know, I started finding me time, and it was like, this book has been in me. Like, I need to get back to Jackie. I need to take that leaping. And so lately I've been taking time and getting more intentional and getting this book out, because that's me.
Yeah.
I can be the caregiver and I can be me. at the same time. Before I was just mainly focused on caregiver
'Cause
and
it's so overwhelming.
yeah, it
right?
was, and
Like,
it was getting
yeah.
overwhelming, needing mental breaks, and thankful my family would let me get those times.
Mhm.
But starting to really, now that this is my new me, that I can be the best of both worlds. I can be the best caregiver. I can be the best Jackie, that writer, that passion that I picked up for, writing was healing for me. It started off with poetry, and then that book came out, and now this book. And so that's the Jackie I had to find again. And so I've been finding that, taking that leap.
Yeah, and I feel like that's, I mean, for everyone, right? It's every day you have to make that intentional to be true to yourself and find yourself and not get overwhelmed with everything. So it's very commendable to go, you know what? Wait a minute. I'm a little lost here and I have to go do that. I love that.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like sometimes people say you're doing a great job. I don't feel like I'm doing anything that anybody else was doing. I don't feel like I'm this superwoman. I feel like I'm just a person who adapted to the journey the situation that God put me in.
Yeah.
God has said, this is you, and this is, you have to learn how to be in this new space.
Mhm.
And so I don't balance it all all the time, every day that great, but I think now I'm learning more and more because it's starting to get to that plateau where things are kind of like evening out with him. And so, I kind of got this routine and knowing what things happen. And so now I can take a little bit of that me back, get a little bit of me back and not the caregiver person.
What do you love most about your life right now?
I have more time to discover me
Yeah.
because I'm not out there like in the race so much anymore. I'm like home with my husband and doing other little things. So now I have a lot more time to find me, I think, because sometimes I'll just let his caregiver take over, and I'm just like, I might just spend a few hours in my bed reading and thinking, and well, what do I want to do now that I have a little bit more time? And it's also reinventing me in a little way, even though I'm Jackie 2.2 now, so I get to do a little things different because, I'm over 50, so I'm thinking about like now, how do I want to end my life,
Mhm.
And so now I'm thinking about that, like, what do I want, that mark that I want to leave in this world?
Are you going to write another book?
I have another book in me.
Good.
I have another book.
Once you start, right? They're like chips. You can't just
They
have one.
are. They are. I think everybody should write a book, even if you don't write it to publish. Like, write it to.
Mhm.
It's very therapeutic.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote poems and things. It's a chance to get out. And I always tell people, when you're writing, people think that, oh, you're going to sell these books to the whole world. I feel like if I can touch one or two people, I made a difference in somebody's life. Because it's not for everybody what you write and what you have to say, but for those one or few or 100 or whatever it is, there's somebody who needs to hear what you say.
Yeah.
So write it.
And sometimes it's you that needs to hear it.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't have to go out for sale. Sometimes you just got to write it out and go, I'm better for it.
Right. I know people who give advice, but they're not good at taking their own advice. And so, some part of this is help for me, but it's also help for others.
Yeah. Do we have a release date for it yet or not yet?
Soon, hopefully I want to get it before the end of the year, definitely, because I want to catch that before Christmas. So I'm working on formatting and all of the editing now and getting the cover. So that should be done by the end of the month because I've been really intentional. I definitely need to get it before the new year comes because that's when
that's when they're gonna be looking for
they're gonna be looking for those vision boards, and
we're knocking on your door. Excuse us, where's your
board?
Yeah.
And I definitely want to capture that audience and make sure that they understand like what they're doing. Like, stop going to these vision parties, without a plan. to have these things coming. Yeah, it looks pretty. Oh, it's pretty, and all of these pictures. And I've been there.
Yeah, yeah.
When you know better, you do better.
Oh.
Maya Angelou said that.
I love you. The book that's available right now is Act Like a Goal Digger,
Not gold.
not gold. Available on Amazon. Throw Away Your Vision Board, an action-based approach to achieving your dreams will be out before Christmas, so make sure it's wrapped under some tree, okay? Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This has been a
appreciate it.
pleasure.
We're late for our next thing, so we have to go, everyone.
We do.
Have a great day. Goodbye.